Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for International Rugby Ireland versus Fiji, a game that will be extremely unpredictable because we don't really know what to expect from this Fijian side. They are currently sitting 2 wins from 2 throughout their November internationals, whereas the Irish, they haven't quite got off to the start that they wanted. A loss to the All Blacks, they're narrowly beating Argentina, getting them back in the winning track. So now this game, like I said, it's unpredictable, but it should be a great way to start the rugby weekend. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Irish, they have decided to make some pretty drastic changes in their starting side. Andrew Porter at number 1, Gus McCarthy on international debut as the 2, and Finlay Bealham slotting in as tight head prop. Joe McCarthy and Tyke Byrne in the locking duo, so that is pretty much the stock standard of what we've seen throughout these November internationals. Cormac as a Chukwu will get himself his debut as the number 6, Josh Van and Flair 7, and the workhorse Caelan Doris as the number 8, also a nominee for Rugby Player of the Year, Doris. So we will have to wait and see if he does end up getting it. Craig Casey at number 9, Sam Prendergast gets the start at 10. Anyone that you talk to says that this youngster is going to be a future star. Of course, no Johnny Sexton anymore in this Irish team, and they are looking for that 10, whether or not it's going to be Prendergast or whether we see Frawley or Crawley as well could be another option, or Byrne. There's plenty of guys trying to get that 10 jersey. Bundyaki and Robbie Henshaw in the midfield with Jacob Stockdale out on the left wing. That is to replace James Lowe, who will not be playing in this game. Matt Hansen out on the right, and Jamie Osborne at number 15. Now, talking about awards, Jamie Osborne also nominated for the Young Player of the Year, or the Breakthrough Player of the Year as they call it. So 2 Irish nominees across the starting 15. Looking through at this Fijian side, Aroni Mawi, Tavita Ikanaveri and Luke Tangi as the front row. Vofi and Mayana Vanua will be the locking duo, and then in the loose forward trio, Meri Derialangi, Kitioni Salawa and Elia Thanakaivata. So a real Fijian flair of the Drua coming into play for this Fiji lineup. Frank Lamani and Caleb Muntz in the 19 channel with Joshua Tuisova and Waisia Naiafalevu as the midfield. That is pure power and pace between those two, although I don't think we saw the best of it in the first game. That was up against the Welsh. We did see Fiji get themselves the win, but there wasn't a lot coming from that midfield combo. Of course, we're not going to get to see Semi Radradra for this game. That is due to his suspension that he would receive. And that game, Porepate Loganamasi will be out on the left wing, Jita Wanyanyolo out on the right, and then Karawalevu at number 15. So those are the starting lineups for these two sides. Your prediction for this match is Morne Lagrange. I think the safe bet, if you're looking at either of these sides, is to go with the home side, Fiji. At the end of the day, they've got a very good home record. So you go, wait, did I say Fiji or Ireland? Because I meant Ireland, but I think my brain might have said Fiji. Which I feel like it's one of those ones that, yes, there could be an upset, but I do think Ireland are the safe bet, not Fiji. In this game, Fiji are so unpredictable, they have to have ideal discipline here. Less than 10 penalties against them. In fact, less than 5 would be the best case scenario, but that would be extremely tricky to do. We have got their paying it down in the UK. The roof will be closed. The Principality Stadium later, I reckon, unless Wales get to choose. When Northwestern Celts are very used to rain. Yeah, they will instead have that roof on. They've pretty much confirmed it already. They do not want any chance of that water leaking in because, yeah, like you said, the weather in the UK at the moment, it's been pretty brutal. I mean, we saw snow the day before France versus Argentina. And thanks for the commentary, my friend. Boxing the All Blacks last games for the year. Didn't Samoa almost beat Ireland last year, says 9HD. That is true. Almost is the key word there. Same with Argentina. They almost beat the Irish last week, but they held on and they knew how to get the win. So I think that is one thing that Ireland will want to control this game. They won't want any chance of Fiji being able to get that passion going in the later stages and really pour it on. Because we know Fiji can. We've seen them score 3 tries in 5 minutes for the Fijian draw throughout Super Rugby Pacific. They know how to change a game instantly with the likes of Tuisova, with Naiafalevu, that experience out there on the field. USA Eagles versus Spain. USA had no penalties against them during the first half, says Andre G, and in the end, winning that game by 3 points. So it just shows how crucial discipline can be when it comes to a game of rugby. Ireland 72, Fiji 18. So you go on a 90-point win. Or sorry, a 90-point game in that case. That would be pretty impressive, that is for sure. Hello, Hamish, anything on Ethan Groot? He is going to be playing in the upcoming game, so that is a slightly good thing for New Zealand. Whatever the disciplinary issue was, it was obviously severe enough to leave him out for 3 weeks, but not quite severe enough to leave him out for 4. We see there the Fijian players showing respect. Dropping to a knee in front of the President of Ireland. I always get this wrong in terms of who that man is, but yeah, Fiji showing a lot of respect to him. Dropping to a knee. He's saying you don't have to do that, but they're all doing it anyway. Big game for Sam Prendergast, seeing as long-term situation for the whole Crowley-Frawley debate. But still only 20 years old, says Powerbite. Yeah, if he can have a blinder here, and this type of game could actually really benefit him up against a free-flowing side like Fiji. I think that's normally when we see Sam Prendergast at his best, when there's a bit of broken play, when he can kind of put together some magic out there on the park. And then off the bench, of course, they have got Frawley, so hopefully he doesn't get too many minutes in this game. And if he does, it would more than likely mean that, unfortunately, Prendergast is either injured or has messed up in that starting lineup too. Also off their bench, they have got the experience of Ian Henderson, Connor Murray, also there, and then Stuart McCloskey as the number 23. Off the bench for the Fijian, Sam Matavesi could be a very handy option later on in this game. Taranga Thoke there at number 19, and then also I think that Sareli Mangwala, that pure pace later on in the game, could be crucial. Looking through at what these two sides have done so far throughout their November internationals, I just realised in the intro I said Fiji were undefeated, so I'm sure the comments would have ripped into me for that, because of course 57 points to 17, the loss to the Scottish in their very first game. Ireland, they have had 1 win, 1 loss, so one of these sides sitting at 50%, the other sitting at 66% for their winning rate. But we are almost ready to go. Some nice music being played, and then we will be into the national anthems. I see Matthew Carley doing the bouncing on the toes. He's ready to go as the referee for this game, or at least one of the referees involved in it. Yeah, Fiji, they know how to get those victories sometimes. They just really get going. But Ireland, I think that they can control this game. President of Ireland says, Jimbo, why is there so much favour for Fiji in this matchup? On paper, Ireland should destroy Fiji, says JP. Exactly right. Like, that's the thing. Someone was talking about it as well, that the Irish media have been saying that Ireland not so much come in as underdogs, but they're expecting that they will have to really get it right here. A few debutants along the way for the Irish, but yeah, I can still see them being able to get a decent victory here. It's just whether or not they can really, I guess, just shut out Fiji's attack, because Fiji are so good at stealing the ball and going, scoring a try when you make a mistake. But Ireland's defence is normally so sound, even in the defeat up against the All Blacks. The All Blacks didn't score a huge amount of tries in that game. I all love Fiji, but rooting for Ireland says a zero connection. And rooting for Fiji today, go Fiji, says cited in there. Anthem then kicks off, lads, and Ireland will dominate and play the full 80, says Jan. And that's exactly what Andy Farrell will want from them, to be able to go into this game and just pretty much from start to finish have it under control. No real worries out there on the park for them. But whether or not that happens could be a different story. Fijian Anthem says Jimbo, and Wales to hold out South Africa by 14. Says Mr. All-In, Ireland will dominate and play. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And go Aki and low 13% Kiwi versus Ireland today, says Desmond, although a little bit lower in the percentages, seeing as James Lowe is not playing. So just Bundy Aki in that regard. The Fijian national anthem, you can see the passion on the faces. And what's the Fiji Haka called, says cited. It's got a different name. And I'm going to quickly look it up just to make sure that I don't say it wrong. It is called, here we go, it's the Cibi, I believe is the name of it, which is C-I-B-I. So Cibi. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. You put in the work on this channel. Constant lives week after week, just a small appreciation message. Cheers, says Mel. Thank you very much. And even next week, when international rugby has pretty much come to a close, we will still be live on the channel. We'll be jumping back into the sevens, into the URC as well. And God bless Fiji, says Azoa. And South Africa to win 32 points to 16, says Mr. Oh no, 16 turns to 18 by the looks of that. So 32-18. Okay, that's probably not a too bad score for either side, really. Like Wales, I think, would almost be happy to be that close. Ireland by 27, and may the best team win, says Caleb O'Brien. Thanks, always wondered, never bothered to ask till now, says Cited. New Zealand now do the Haka in Parliament too. It's so cool, I watched it 8 times, says Andre G and JP, my bad. Wales to hold 14 points. Fiji national anthem has come to a close. We've got Ireland's call, and then we are ready to go for the match at the Aviva. And it looks like a sold-out crowd, or at least very close to it, for those matches. Great to see the amount of numbers that have turned up for these games. Some of the weather has been awful in the UK over the last little while. Ireland, it doesn't look too bad at the moment, but I'd assume it's still a little bit chilly out there on the field. And sadly, as a Celt, I see South Africa making biltong from dragon meat later. It's like the Haka but Fiji version, says Default. And there as well. Yeah, a lot of the Pacific Island sides do have I guess you could say, a pre-match war dance of some regards. New Zealand, Tonga, Fiji and Samoa, the only nations with a war dance. Any other Pacific nations? I don't think Papua New Guinea have one. Cook Islands might. I could be wrong there, though, from the rugby league side of things. And old series sold out months ago, says Jimbo there. Now we are ready to go. The Irish national anthem has been sung, and I think we're going to get... we are also going to get Ireland's call. And South Africa, we have the Zulu dance when they play in South Africa. And we have got their Wales will unfortunately just be a victory lap for the Box later, says JP. And I do hope it's a little bit more competitive, but there is a chance that that game could be pretty one-sided. Unless all of a sudden Wales, really gel. And who knows, maybe it could take place. Why doesn't the Aussies have a haka, says Sakabula. Normally, they don't have a haka, but when it's in Australia, they do have a welcome to country for the Indigenous side of things. So I guess that's their equivalent in a way. It's just before the national anthem rather than afterwards. As far as I know, there are hakas for different occasions, says Zenda. Is this the last game, or are there more games next week? Ireland actually are playing next week up against the Australians. Fun fact. So they still have one more. And the haka Phoebe will follow Ireland's call, says Jimbo. And we have got there, it has been snowing this week in Ireland. It's around 3 degrees Celsius. And the thing is, that might be one of the warmer games that we're going to have today. Like, I think Italy versus New Zealand looks like it's going to be a chilly one. I think we're going to have pretty much a downpour for Wales versus South Africa. Luckily, there's a roof on the stadium. Drop Mornay, says Jimbo. Yeah, just a bit of rotation in the squad for the team. That's also why we see no Jameson Gibson Park for this game. Instead, Conor Murray and Craig Casey will be the 9s. Gary Ringrose also not there for this match, but the national anthems and Ireland call have been sung. And now we are ready to go for this match. It's going to be probably a little bit stop-start, I would say, with the amount of handling errors that could come in a wet, cold kind of evening. Even if there isn't so much rain around at the moment, there will still be a slippery ball out there due to the dew. And mate, is Argentina the second best, or is the best team during the second half? Says Katzenel. I would say no. They play a lot better in their second half, but there are sides that at the moment do finish a little bit stronger. Argentina, though, I think it's just mindset at the moment. They have to start working harder in that first half because they just go for the threes when they should be kicking for the corner. That game up against France, I honestly think if they had gone for the corner a little bit more early on in the match, they could have been a lot closer to getting the victory, but just let France run away with it. And I think France kind of took their foot off the gas a bit by the end. Hi, Hamish says, Moa Hunters, Jesus, ads on live streams are super annoying. Says, cited. I think they're automated by YouTube like halfway through, or I don't actually know when they come up in terms of like, I don't get a notification saying this is when an ad's going to play. But the Thebe now taking place. And I see Anaya Talevu leading it. He is also the captain for this game. We have got there, are you serious? 26 in George, says Ruth. So glad to catch you today. Was busy all day. Just got home now, says Ruth. And 36 degrees, and tell you what, 36 degrees is a bit warm. It means it will be 40 here tomorrow, says Sakabola. That Haka got a lot of respect. What do you think, Hamish, says Mr. Orland? Yeah, quite quiet from the crowd for that one. But now we are almost ready to go. Jamie Osborne at number 15. Sam Prendergast as the number 10. That is the future for this Irish side. Jacob Stockdale and Matt Hansen out on the wings. And then Archie and Henshaw, that experience and the power of Archie in that midfield. But the midfield of Fiji is looking pretty decent as well. They've got Joshua Tuisova alongside Waisia Thalevu. And then Vanagaivata, Salawa and Deria Langi in the loose forward trios. We have got it's so cold in Ireland. What's the temperature in Dublin? 3 degrees Celsius by the sounds of it for this game. And the Karoo gets a flippin' hot, Hamish, says Sakabola. And Crawley is the future, says 9HD. And he will be making his way... Crawley, not Frawley. Yeah, so Crawley not actually playing in this game. Unfortunately, just Prendergast and Frawley as the two. But now Sam Prendergast, I should say, talking about how big of an occasion it is for that man, Caleb Muntz. He will be kicking off this one from left to right. Fiji by 9, says Mr. Orland. That would be such a massive win in Ireland as well. Even if this game was taking place in Fiji, if Fiji won it by 9, it would be massive for Fiji and rugby. What are the odds for the South Africa-Wales game? I'm curious. Pretty much the odds here in New Zealand, South Africa paying $1.02. So the only team that's more of a favourite throughout this weekend is actually New Zealand, who are paying $1.01 up against the Italians. So in terms of the odds, they're expected to win that game about 98% of the time. The cold can be unfavourable for Fiji, says amazing product. That is true, but it is now going to be kicked off by Caleb Muntz to get us underway for another game of international rugby. The last, I would call it the big day. My odds for South Africa game is good, says Kerr. Well, I was looking through at the New Zealand TAB just to see what type of things they have, and the only one that they've got here is over 5.5 tries for South Africa, and it's like $1.90, so you probably have got pretty good odds there. Lomani on the halfway line now, firing off to the right-hand side. Caleb Muntz to Tavita Ikanaveri. Ireland will look to contest in the breakdown early and try and disrupt this Fijian flair. They'll be committing at least one man to each and every breakdown. Hi, Hamish, how was your cricket match? Hay fever better today? Hay fever's doing a lot better, I've noticed already. And cricket, it went well for the team, not so well for me, I would say. But luckily I didn't get injured this week, so that's a bonus. But yeah, batting-wise, not ideal. But that is going to be an early penalty going the way of the Irish. Amazing product, you are spot on. Holly is a cutie patootie, says Justin. I'm glad you're doing comms. TNT have an annoying female commentator. She's bad. It's embarrassing, says Johnny. Well, welcome in. Hope you are keeping well, Johnny, and you're excited for this game. Jamie Osborne was good under the high ball. And then just trying to get that turnover in the breakdown, but wasn't able to. Where is this ref from? I think I saw this ref in the South African game. So Holly Davidson is Scottish. She also originally was doing the 7 side of things not too long ago. That's not straight from the Irish. Amish, your suit is just so stylish, says Ruth. Thank you very much, Ruth. Hey, Fever. Hey, Mish, says Sean. And come on, Fiji, says Default. Yeah, just not quite straight to Izzy Cormack, the man who is on debut, and also not straight with the throw from Gus McCarthy, who's making his debut as well. Holly Tiamote in the World Cup, says Jimbo there. Pat Quaid's at the moment a 20 kg advantage in favour of the Irish. Yeah, because can't stand women commentary. I feel like that might be a trend that we have today, because you are now the second person who has said that. So welcome in, Rhinus. Hope you're doing very well. 2.5 minutes into this contest. Frank Lamani goes across to Caleb Muntz. Now Waisia Thalevu kicks it downfield. Bundy Aki does make the tackle. Osborne, nice step around Karawa Levu. Now off to the left-hand side. Chance down the wing for Stockdale, who kicks it back infield. Muntz has it covered on the 22, but under pressure here. And a low tackle made from the man chasing his own kick there. Jacob Stockdale into the lineup for James Lowe. Now, attacking run from Thanakai Vata doesn't get a huge amount of distance as Byrne and Porter were there to stop him. Holly is from Edinburgh. Says Kerr. And there as well. Oh, it was almost a tackle in the air from Tuisova. I think he just put enough effort into it that he didn't get penalised, but almost too much that they would have considered it. Craig Casey back across to Prendergast, the youngster. Cross kick attempted here from Jamie Osborne and taken well above the head from Karawalevu, and they'll go back for the original penalty. We have got there Zender, never say enough. And Holly is from Wales, Scotland, I think, says Zender. I'm going to have a slug. Or going to have to slug a gin and orange with extra ice. Shoo, it's hot, says Ruth. And Holly from Scotland, the Bravehearts. Already 4 minutes into this game, Ireland have got a decision to make. They're around the halfway line. In fact, a little bit closer, 40 metres out from the line. And it looks like they're going to go for the corner rather than the 3. And that is an aggressive mindset to have early on in this game. Looking outside, say the roof might be closed at the Principality later, says Jacob. Or sorry, says Adam, I should say. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to have that one closed. The amount of rain that is falling around the UK, definitely in Wales at the moment. And there's also a little bit of wind too, isn't there? Which wouldn't have made it too much easier had it been an open stadium. Nicely thrown into Joe McCarthy. Now Gus McCarthy inside ball to Doris, who uses his power and bundles over for the first try. Ireland on the board after 4.5 minutes. Let's go, Fiji, says Jonathan. Thank you for the commentary, bro. Wales will be schooled today, says Johnny. And also what a try, says Jimbo there. Yeah, good attack and run from Caelan Doris, his 7th try now. And just nice little set play. Inside ball from McCarthy on debut. It does get the assist there. Should have closed the roof 2 weeks ago already. Says Sakabula, lots of snow at home. Just now, yesterday was -5. So how close are you to Murrayfield, Kerr? Do you think it's going to be a bit of snow maybe for Scotland versus Australia? Sam Prendergast now, though. First kick for him in the starting lineup in this game. He's taking his time to a pure silence from the Irish crowd, and he's got the kick over 7-0 for the home side. And that's exactly the start that they would have been after, punishing Fiji for giving away the penalty. And Irish Bloodhounds ready to run it. And we have got their Wales has a bad habit of being a bogey team for the box, even when they are playing terrible. Says cited. Yeah, we'll be interested to see how it goes compared to the July international, or sorry, the June international that we saw between the sides. Of course, they were the warm-up team. It was the South African versus Irish tour. Andrew Porter runs it forward, 30 metres out from his own line. Craig Casey rolling this one back, ready for the box kick. And chasing after this is Mac Hansen, doesn't clean it up, and it's bounced back onto the side of the Fijians into the hands of the skipper, Naiathalevu. Now again, Thanakai Vata runs it straight at the defensive line. Ronnie Mawi gets rid of Craig Casey. Tried to tackle him a little bit too high and did pay for it. Lamani, little pick and go around the side of the breakdown, and Ronnie Mawi plays halfback. They're now out wide to Gita Wainaniolo, tackled by Prendergast. Now Timo Mainavanua. Just going phase after phase at the moment for Fiji. Now looking to use their back line. Waisia Falevu thought about the offload, couldn't get it through. And thanks, Jimbo. Live 15 minutes walk from Murrayfield. Game should be a cracker as the weather will be better tomorrow. Says Johnny. And I'm opposite side of the country, West Coast. Murrayfield is East Coast, and generally weather is milder there. Yeah, so hopefully it's probably, double digits would be nice, but anything over 5 degrees. Oh, Tui Sober with a few big fends. Craig Casey's been sat down again. He's tried to make the tackle that time, but the offload has come for Fiji, and now kicking it out on the full from, I think that was Kitioni Salawa, who was complaining about getting a shot to the head here. And the high ball says Mr. All-In. And come on, Fiji, go hard and warm up. And greetings from Mount Taranaki, says Viviani. Welcome in. Craig Casey, he's had a hard day so far. Sat down more times than if he was playing musical chairs. And he just hasn't quite been able to find that rhythm early. Oh, yeah, Prendergast gave him a shoulder to the head, but it wasn't anything hugely cynical, I don't think. Like, it didn't look good, but it wasn't awful. What's the score, guys? You agree for South Africa and Wales? My prediction was 48-14, which I feel like maybe we're going to the TMO by the looks of this. I mean, I get that he hit him in the head, and he shouldn't have, but, like, it didn't look awful. But I think it's going to be a penalty against Ireland, and maybe even, like, surely not worse for Prendergast. Yeah, we're going to see the replay, so he kicks it downfield. A little shoulder. It wasn't anything... Oh, that angle looks worse. He's actually rocked him there from that one, and then he gets his ankle crushed. This might be worse than I thought it was. From the other angle, it looked a bit timid, and it looked kind of like it was in slow motion, whereas that angle, he's actually hit him right on the peak, or the what's it called? The button of the jaw? No, what's the terminology? I don't know the peak of the jaw. There's a name for it, and I can't think of it. Okay, it's going to be a yellow card against Sam Prendergast. Definitely not the start for the youngster that he would have been after. And thank you. I really look forward to your commentary all week, says Robert. It's great to have you back. You get the red card. So at the moment, it is a yellow for Sam Prendergast, the Irish number 10. And the point of it. Yeah, that's fair, isn't it? Point of the jaw. The trip switch. I haven't heard that term used. LaRue said 12.55 for South Africa. That chinny thingy, says Aruth, and Riaka TMO says JD, so it's at least been a yellow at the moment, but Caleb Muntz will kick this one towards the corner. Chin, says Frederick. 20 metres out. Okay, they're just saying there, if the Fijian player hadn't stayed down, they probably wouldn't have checked it. But Tioni Salawa staying down for a little bit longer. Looks like he's going to continue in this match, but the way he stayed down, maybe he should have had an HIA. Not Imoni. I was about to say Imoni Narawa, but it is Aroni Mawi who's had the ball lost in the breakdown. Now Joe McCarthy goes across there to Izzy Cormack, who's up to about 20 metres out from the line. The human off button went tapped correctly and got to be upgraded to the red, says Johnny. And yeah, it'll certainly be a learning experience. Sam Prendergast, if it is, that's a great clearing kick from Jamie Osborne. And things are always exciting with you, Hamish. Lots of interesting chatter. Yeah, oops, sipping my gin and orange, says Ruth there. Of course, it is closer to evening in South Africa and Ireland than it is here in New Zealand. We've still got 2 more games after this one, and then 2 more games tomorrow as well that we will be covering on the channel. A lot of exciting rugby still to come. Here comes Tui Sova. Tries to run over Doris, who has held an ankle and dragged him down to the turf. Now back into the pocket. Caleb Muntz with the cross kick attempted. Going up for it there as Matty Diddy-Alangi. Inside ball to the big man who's only 5 metres out from the line. Luke Tangi was close. Jita Wainanyolo is closer. Hang on. Did he get it down? I think he might have been just inches from the line. Big smile on the face of Holly Davison. I think she quite enjoyed that big run from Luke Tangi, the big man who almost got over for a runaway try. As Christian, I hide in here with this bunch of Mad Rugby fans, says Jimbo. And we have got there in boxing parlance. It's just right on the button, says Nicholas, and better play. We're going to see it here. Great effort from Tyke Byrne to drag him down. He's allowed one dynamic move. Oh, unless that other side of the ball is down, I think he's just short. To me, that's just short of the line by inches. Oh, it's very close, though, for Jita Wainanyolo. We're talking a game of centimetres. And that knee is in just the right spot that it's going to be just short. Is it a try? I think it's going to be no try in this one. I think he's going to be just half a little bit short. A millimetres in it, says Eric J, and well short, says Christian. And tight one might be just short there, and blade of grass there, says Johnny. So it's going to be a scrum for Ireland, 5 metres out from their line. It is considered a knock-on. Now, I should mention the reason it's considered a knock-on is because Jita Waninyolo then had it kicked or like dropped out of his hands afterwards. No, says Default Nation. Everybody's still waiting for the third round of the Paul Tyson fight to buffer. Says Sakabola. I saw a stat that was like 160 million people were watching that live, and 65 million of which were out of America. So, like, to be fair to Netflix, like, what broadcaster can handle 120 million people watching at once without having some sort of issues? Like, it's quite impressive. I could draw or drive a lawnmower along the gap, says Jimbo. And Timo has given the referee a card for disallowing a Fijian try, says Kurno Wick. Now that one's going to be run off the back for Kalen Doris. Oh, almost over the ball was Kitioni Salawa, but he has now lost his footing. Craig Casey puts it back into the pocket. Osborne under pressure, but he has got a strong left boot. He's not happy about it. I think he's not happy about Craig Casey getting it back into the pocket, how quickly it took. Jake Paul fights a stage and rigged. Says Default there. And good pressure, says Mr. Orland. Come on, mate, get in there, guys, says JD. Now Tavera Ikanaveri. Ready to throw this one in. Hang on, we got a stoppage. Okay, it's a 7-man line out. Looked like there was a little bit of confusion there. 43% of people think Fiji are going to win. There's Davey Owen. That's going to be overthrown. Trying to slap that one back was Tui Sova, but it's gone into the side of Bundyaki. Please no reds. Says Kristen. Well, that's the thing. If this card gets upgraded to a red for Sam Prendergast, that's going to leave quite a big gap. Oh, Jita Wanyanyolo taking the throw quickly, but the pass wasn't ideal. Karawa Levu, it sits up for him, though, and he will now run straight at Finley Beerlam. Davo, it's more hope, says Sakabola. Ronnie Mawi, tackled low. My Cormac is a Chukwu. Just a little bit short. Got to put that on some merch, man, says Scott David George. Yeah, we once had Kiwi Lads merch. I think the store that we had is still actually up. But I haven't advertised it. I'm terrible at advertising things. I do have to say. Anyone who's new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the first time in 32 minutes I've mentioned that as well. Now, Lamani can't get it out because Ireland have got themselves the try. Said that very weirdly, but 12 minutes into the contest, and yet again the breakdown work of the Irish is giving them possession. Come on, Fiji, says Thane. And we have got their Aki smashing the Fijians, and clear your ruck, says Mr. All-In. Jays give Tuisova the tank. Or just give Tuisova the tank his run with the ball. Yeah, I mean, we've already seen him sit down Craig Casey. That's a massive shot, by the way, from Bundyaki on Luke Tungy. Oh, they're showing Holly Davidson. Is this going to be about the yellow card? Okay, it sounds like it's not a high level of danger, so it's just going to remain as a yellow card for Sam Prendergast, but very lucky for that man. So he's got 5 more minutes, then he will make his way back out onto the field for the youngster. Card is yellow, says Jimbo, come on, Ireland. And Fiji can do this. Oh, and almost stealing that one. That's going to be dropped, but Fiji closing the gap at line-out time. Ireland still have this ball now. Bundyaki. Oh, okay. Commentators actually saying that maybe Prendergast should have got a red for that. They're saying that he gave up his chance of mitigation because he never wrapped his arms. What cynical tackle, no mitigation, red all day, says Johnny there. Why is Semi not playing? He is suspended. He got himself suspended in the Welsh. I've purchased Kiwi Lads merch and will testify to its legitimacy. It's good quality of him, in all honest. Says there from Kerr. I think you got the Chick Chick Bang, didn't you, Kerr, back when that became a saying on the channel. I think that was just before the World Cup, or was it during? It might have been during the World Cup, actually. And then we advertised it, I think, once or twice. No red for that. There's a joke to the whole game, says Harris. And a red, says Blues Nate. Now, Gus McCarthy. The ball about 20 metres out from the line below Hamish, says Futfiri, welcome in. Now, Craig Casey away to the right-hand side. Bundyaki, flat ball to Henshaw, who gets the offload to Stockdale. They're 5 metres out now. But Fiji with a great counter ruck. No, they've actually been penalised for it. Not rolling away, going against Fiji. Double blow of the whistle here. Yes, group phase of the World Cup, the Chick Chick Bang. And it's a yellow. Internet keeps dropping mid-game. So annoying, says Cited. Next one's going to go on. That's only 14 minutes into the game that Fiji are receiving that warning. So that's not a good sign for what is to come. Discipline must improve is the comment there from Holly Davidson. They've just got to make better decisions, Fiji, when it comes to them defending 5 metres out from their line. Tighten it up. Here's Mr. All-In. Morning, Hamish. There's Blues Nate. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing very well. That's a nice ball. Doris to Vandenflair, who will get it down again. And now 14 minutes in, they have doubled their points. 12 points to 0. Of course, not quite double, but it is going to be in a very short moment with a nice easy kick. How on earth does this commentator get these TNT rugby gids on mute now? Listening here, says Johnny. Currently on our clock, for anyone who wants to sync up, it is currently 14 minutes 56 seconds. Just to help you out a little bit. Ireland back at it, says Jimbo. And Hamish, I would have game between France and Argentina last night. I think the next game Box are going to be surprised by the strong effort by the Welsh, says Nico. Well, that's the thing. Like Warren Gatland, he's in the position at the moment that Ian Foster was in. How, like, if Welsh rugby want to sack him, hang on, TMO once again going to be into this one by the sounds of it. Fiji's discipline is frustrating, it is. But yeah, it's going to cost Welsh rugby like 2 million New Zealand dollars or something to get rid of Warren Gatland. I know the try is good. TMO is happy. The ref needs the TMO to STFU. Are you Irish or a New Zealander, says Salisi? So I am from New Zealand. Currently sitting 4:30 a.m. New Zealand time here. And the kick is good from Ireland as well. So that will make the score 14-0 after 15 and a half minutes. Fiji, they had a couple really good moments early, but just running out of space to work with pretty much. 5 metres out from their line. They cannot afford to be giving away those penalties. How are all me Pirates going? Yar, says Ponku. Never throw a Wales team down, even when playing terrible. They have a habit of pulling a win against the Box on occasion. A Box for the win, says Vishnu. And let's go Fiji, says the Blues, Nate. Now Craig Casey on the 22-metre line here for Ireland. That is their own, by the way. Now Robbie Henshaw, tackled by Kitioni Salawa. I thought you Chinese, Hammy, says Doctor. Not that I know of. Let's go Fiji. Andy. Andy, I think I called him, but Aki bundled into touch by Joshua Tui. So there's going to be a lot of physicality in those inside centre roles. And a red card for Ireland is a complete injustice, says JP. Well, like the Irish commentator said, as soon as you don't wrap your arms, you take away mitigation out of a tackle. So, yeah, they've decided it wasn't a high level of danger. The only thing I can think as well is maybe because the Fijian player was down to his knee at the time that he took the head contact, but it was still a shoulder charge to the head. Another penalty going the way of Fiji this time. This is for offside. Andy Baki, new name, says cited. Fiji won't like the cold, says Moa Hunters. It looks like Sam Prendergast not too far from making his way back out onto the field. Vaniaki from the Mighty Chiefs. We could do with them in the centres at the moment. God damn, says Ponku. And Aki is Polynesian too, right? Says default. So, born in New Zealand. His mother is Irish, I want to say. But I could be wrong. It might actually be his... No, I think his dad's New Zealander and then his mum's Irish. Thought Hamish was a Thai. That's where I've seen him in Muay Thai boxing. Says Blues Nate. He stepped in front of him is all. Calm down, says Jimbo. And Tosafiti Tosso, says Dima there. Kayla Muncie will be lining up this kick. This is an interesting choice here for the Fijians. Like, I get trying to get points on the board, but at the same time, you're also in that scenario of this now gives Ireland 15 men on the field as Prendergast makes his way back out. So perhaps one last attack while playing up against 14 could have been the better option. But it is a good kick from Caleb Muntz. It has gone over 14 points to 3. Clark is more Irish. Says Mr. All-In, a Muay Thai, love it. says Adam there. But now ready to kick this one off again. It is Sam Prendergast. Next time Fiji will take Aki on their team. Says the fault. That one's going to be slapped forward, I thought, by Ireland. I think it's going to actually be their possession here. Craig Casey going back across to the right-hand side. Ty Byrne, quick hands to Doris, who was tackled on the 22. Gets the offload away to Craig Casey, and that is another penalty advantage for a tip tackle from the Fijians, and this is now a yellow card. Just something that didn't need to happen. Aroni Mawi will go to the bin for tipping a player up above the horizontal. It's very frustrating sometimes to watch this Fijian side because they just do, in the nicest way possible, really dumb things. Like, that was one of those tackles that they didn't need to tip him up above the horizontal, and I get being physical, but now Ireland are going to have to, like they're going to have to do more wrong than right. That wasn't actually that bad, by the way. That was just more of a drive, and the legs went up from Caelan Doris. Still landed on his back. Hang on. What's happening here? We got Fiji have got the line out. Scrum or 22 are the options. Wait, what's going on here? Why? What's the... Wait. So why do Fiji have... Did Ireland attempt a line out that I missed? Why don't Ireland have the ball now? So what's the... Why are Fiji kicking this off from the 22? Did I miss an Irish line-out throw that wasn't straight or something? Or was it a mismatch in numbers? Kind of like Argentina yesterday. Stupid mistake, says Lilia B. I'm so confused at what happened to why Fiji had that 22 dropout. Oh, almost a big shot on Sam Prendergast, and that's gone out on the full from the young 10. Infringement on cameraman, I think, says cited. Network here, says Salisi. That's old school. That's how you win games. Dump their important players on their heads. Why that guy tried to catch... Oh, no, I think he just slipped over. I like the ref, says Kristen, and Justice, says JP. Yeah, Fiji had the option of a scrum or a 22. Is that because the decision was wrong? In which case the player should be back out there on the field, or was it something else? Totally missed it too, says Rhinus. Yeah, I have no idea what happened. We'll check it at half-time and see what happened. All quick tap taken by the Fijians, by the Irish. Craig Casey isolating himself, finding the offload up to Gus McCarthy. And now over the ball for Fiji, Kitioni Salawa. Oh, I have no idea how he didn't get that turnover. Looks like Lamani has stayed down with some sort of injury, though. Another offload. Henshaw looking for one to Casey, who gets it away to McCarthy. That being Joe Osborne. Almost went for one as well. 10 metres out from the line. Now Joe McCarthy offloads up to Ty Byrne. 5 metres out from the try line. Sam Prendergast goes out wide. Hansen with the skip pass. The coverage has gone green. And now it's cut out. But I believe that will be a try for the Irish. But we have now got a black screen at the Aviva. I would assume that he went in for the try, though. It looked like, unless it was a forward pass. But other than that, we can't tell you too much as the screen is still black here in New Zealand for it. I miss it too. I merrily blinked. And also, can someone please help what happened, says Lilia B. And forward, says Mr. Orlin. Forward pass, no try, says Jimbo. Okay, so it's going to be disallowed. And Sky have just got the message coming up. Sorry for the interruption. I mean, while we've got this interruption, we might as well go back and see what actually happened at that line out while we're at it. So Fiji, there's the yellow card of Aroni Mawi. Fiji, what would you like? Why do Fiji... No, I'm not sure what happened. Oh, okay. He went too much for the corner and kicked it dead. That's what happened there. Yep. We just got it there from the commentary, and the coverage has just come back, so perfect timing. I saw a short ball forward, not the long pass. See, unfortunately for us here in New Zealand, it cut out halfway through the pass, so I had no idea if it travelled forward. Matawalu now on the field for Frank Lamani. That is due to an injury. Yeah, Prendergast, so far throughout this game, he's had a yellow card, he's kicked the ball out on the full, and he's also had one where he wasn't able to find touch. We have got there wins the All Blacks game, says Justin. They are going to be playing at 9:10 a.m. New Zealand time. Could have been a debutant try for Cormac Izachukwu. Andy Farrell, there was almost a smile, but also frustration there that the pass didn't go backwards. If one of the Fiji forwards run into the ref, do they then have a replacement ref? That is true. Yes, I mean, we've seen it in the sevens. Jordan Way actually had to go off for an HIA as a referee. But, yeah, it's one of those ones that, like, we haven't seen it too often. I mean, we saw Jaco Piper. He ended up with that injury at the Rugby World Cup, didn't he? That he had to go because of his calf muscle. So then they always have that backup referee, and then an assistant referee becomes either the main one, or you have your fourth backup referee gets to step in. Now, Penny Matawalu, 10 metres out from the line, Prendergast instructed not to play safe but risk everything. Well, he certainly is at the moment. He risked it all for that yellow card. Now going back across, Caleb Muntz looking to kick it towards the touchline. Doesn't get a huge amount of distance on it. Looked like Jacob Stockdale doing his best impersonation of the touch judge. She's doing great. It's Fiji that sucks, says Dr. Pooh. 5 minutes remaining of this Fijian yellow card here. My girlfriend reckons you're cute, says Salisi. Well, thank you very much to your girlfriend. Hopefully she also thinks that you are cute, Salisi. Gus McCarthy throwing this one in and stolen by Fiji. Matawalu as they're ready to take the deflection. Now offload Jitawaininiolo. Looking for a risky ball that is well handled by Waisia Nyatha-Levu. Ollie is a good ref, says Sean. And a good kick, says Mr. Orland. And we have got there Fiji struggling to find their rhythm. Now Matawalu back into the pocket to Caleb Muntz. And that's a good kick down towards the halfway line. I am his girlfriend, says Default Nation. Great exit by Muntz. Yeah, good territory gain for the Fijians, getting them out of that 22 where Ireland can be so dangerous throughout this game. Definitely with 14 out there on the field for the Fijians. Hamish has a big female following now. Hot, says Ruth. And Claire says Mr. Orland is going to be thrown in. And Ireland claiming it at the back of their line out. Bundyaki, little pop pass up to Sam Prendergast. Loose ball, I think it's going to be play on here. Osborne with the inside pass to Jacob Stockdale and just dropped out wide from Matt Hansen. I only tuned in a few minutes ago. Our players more riskier than usual, or Ireland playing more riskier? A little bit. And I think that is with Prendergast as the number 10. They're trying a few things, wide cutout passes and whatnot, but that Irish backline, when it still flows, it goes very well. Catfight incoming. Easy does, very hot, says Default Nation. And yeah, just knocked on by Matt Hansen from that last pass. Although that's an easy catch normally for Hansen. Hamish female following is over 60 and grandmothers, says Grant. And the phase clear, says Mr. Orland. With Stockdale getting the start at number 11 rather than James Lowe, who is absent for this game. Mention we have got plenty of rugby action taking place all throughout today. The next game that we are doing on the channel will be South Africa versus Wales. That one will be kicking off at 6:10 a.m. New Zealand time, which is in an hour and 25 minutes. But we will be doing the 30 minutes of build-up. This game, so far, we have had 10 minutes of stoppages, ladies and gentlemen, compared to the flow of the game. So it is definitely going to be a 2-hour game between these two sides. Last time I checked, I was nowhere near those numbers, says Lilia B. I leave my Hamish alone, says Default Nation. Fiji is struggling in their attack. And how are you doing today? Says Yucko, doing very well. Is it raining at the game, Hamish, please? It is not. No, not that I can see anyway. I think the wide age range and nationality range in Hamish is following in the chat we have is quite impressive. says Kerr. Yeah, it's awesome that we can bring so many people from all around the world and all different ages all into the same environment. Like, it's pretty... Oh, that's a big shot from Tui Sova. Just whacked Mac Hansen in the midsection. Yeah, like, that was the beauty of the Rugby World Cup as well. The fact that every game we'd have a different, like, kind of base nation that was watching, and then a few other sides or nationalities also in the mix. I'm not sure how many countries we've ticked off this month in terms of viewership, but it would probably be like at least 80. That man's knees were not on the ground, says Mr. All In. It was raining earlier in Dublin. We had a rainstorm across the country last night, says Emerald. The commentator's going full partridge. You never go full partridge, says Johnny. What does full partridge mean? Is that like, oh, I want a ball to Josh Brandon Flower. He's got open space up to 22 metres out. Now Prendergast just couldn't get the pass away in time. Stockdale driven into touch. I contribute to around 40 of the country, so says Kerr. That is true, depending on where you're watching from on the day. And no way, says Miss All In, it's credible. Hamish should be the next James Bond 008. 008 rather than 007. What does 007 actually stand for? Like, is that like his number? Or is that a deliberate knockdown from the Fijians? I think it's in the process of making the tackle Aussie off, says Jimbo. "27 minutes in and 1 minute 30 remaining." Yeah, Jamie Osborne making his way from the field. That is going to be for Frawley. I would assume some sort of early injury here for him. Yeah, doesn't look too happy. I've done 3 countries for this weekend's streams, says Kerr. Honduras, Mexico, and the USA. Not 007, it's a 679, says Default Nation. Secret agent thing. 007 is because he played flanker, says Salisi. I guess agent number, says Ponku. Google Alan Partridge, Hamish. It makes sense, says Johnny. And 00 status is the kill count before you become an agent for MI6. So, like, that's a good thing, isn't it? So, like, he's the 7th agent, I guess. Is the license to kill 7 was Bond's MI number. It's a number of an agent. I think the story was made up of the World War. And Peter Steph Totoya is the only 007, says Jimbo there. He's going to be in action in only a couple hours' time. Actually represented the Queen at the time, says Sean. There we go. Would you guys be disappointed if I said I haven't seen a single James Bond film? Probably. A nice backline here for the Irish. Frawley already into the action, and that was almost a turnover there for the Fijians. High tackle is what they've been penalised for this time. It's quite cold in the past, or in this part of the world. For the past week, we got frost, snow. It became milder last night with a rainstorm. I definitely can see Hamish in the Bond movie. And what, says JP? I'm sorry, what did you say, Hamish? Nothing at all. Nothing was mentioned. Fiji almost back to 15 men on the field. No, Hamish, I would not be disappointed, says Kerno Wick. Gus McCarthy. This is another great try-scoring opportunity here for Ireland. Oh. So we got another stoppage and another change is about to be made. It involves Ronnie Mawi making his way back onto the field. Dr. Know What, says Salah. I wish you will do well in a Bond movie, says Vishnu. Is 0069 before 007? Yeah, see, I don't... Or would it be 006 instead, though? Because where's the 9 come from? Salawa. He is back on for Heriti Hitit as well. That's correct, says JP. Now rolling maul. Oh, is it actually 0069? Well, there you go. This ball is lost in this rolling maul, but it looks like it's going to pop out the back for Joe McCarthy. Fiji once again trying to get that turnover in the breakdown. They've given away another penalty here. And this is going to be another Double blow of the whistle. In fact, this might even be a yellow card for Fiji. They've only just come back. Okay, this is just a warning. I'm trying to work out the delay. What's your clock saying at the moment? It is paused, so we will wait till it starts back up. But currently it's on 29:26, but of course, that is with it not moving. So once we have clock back on, I'll let you know. You can be the 6 or the 9, says Kerr. Lots of conferences happening in this game. It's slowing things down, says Cited. Yeah, they've had a pretty slow-flowing game so far. The first half, we've had 29 minutes worth of rugby and 41 minutes worth of action. So for me now, it is 29:30. I'm now at 29:50. So yeah, you're about 20 seconds ahead, I would say, or probably closer to 30, depending on when you sent that message. Gus McCarthy, another line-out throw for the youngster. And nicely taken by Tyg Byrne. Rolling maul here for the Irish. Doesn't look like it's really... Oh, now it's moving. Now off the side. Fiji trying to defend it, but the offload on the outside to KC. And it's the third try of the match now for Ireland. Fiji, just their discipline is letting them down so badly in this game. That's what happens when you can't hold, says Mr. Orland. I know Sean Connery, the GOAT, says Sailor. 20 or 30 seconds delay, mate. No spoilers from Edinburgh, says Johnny. 006 is referenced in Octopussy, says Beardy. It's an interesting name for a movie, isn't it? But nice finish from Craig Casey in the corner. Fiji need a South African coach. Wesley Snipes, 0007. Or 0007, I guess that would be. I seen a photo just before of Daniel Craig. I laughed out loud. He's sloppy now, but yes, Casino Royale was good. Whatever it's called, that kick is over from Sam Prendergast. Hamish would be after M as James Bond. Would be after M as James Bond. Be after M. I'm so confused at what that means, Grant. I assume it's either a reference to the movie or it's gone straight over my noggin, but yeah. 9 minutes remaining in this first half. And it's going to be slapped forward. In fact, slapped back, was it, by Fiji? I think they're going to have the choice of the scrum or the line out. I think he means you fancy older woman. Does he? Emma's Bond's boss. And shame to see Fiji playing so poor. Love to see them lads running with the ball. It might be GG's for Fiji chat, says Default. Team Tomorrow Never Dies, and that is the end. It's like calling someone H and his name is John, says Mr. Orlin. So far, Fiji have had 3 visits to the opposition 22, but they've only spent 15 seconds in there. And that's another penalty, this time going the way of the Irish. I feel like the wind has been completely sucked out of Fiji's sails, and at this point it's just more of a question by how much. Hamish is popular with all ladies, says Ruth. At least it seems to be the ones online. The ones in real life, not so much. But then saying that, I also don't really leave the house much because I'm streaming all the time. 10 penalties against Fiji. I said that they had to give away less than 10 throughout this whole game if they wanted a chance. They've given away 10 in the first 33 minutes. Final game of the year. I give it your best shot. Go Fiji. Go. That one's not straight from Ireland again. I mean, you live in New Zealand, Hamish, says Miss Orlin. That is true. Hamish would be a great Miss Money Penny. Fiji look great with ball, but terrible in defence. It seems Fiji given up already, says Jay, and 10 penalties is massive. Yeah, definitely in the first 33 minutes. Like, I don't think many teams give away this many penalties and stay competitive in a game. So, yeah, it's going to be a real struggle. Daniel Craig had a good smile and shoulders to die for. I don't know if I fall into that category then for 007. Now, Pinemata Walu going across into the midfield. Joshua Tuisova runs it hard and straight. Sam Prendergast drags him down. Fiji need a pep talk at halftime. He's too short, says Salah. Is that Daniel Craig or me? Because if it's me, the question is, how do you know how tall I am from me sitting? I guess you can kind of tell, maybe. It's Connor at the stadium. Says Jeremy, we're talking about Conor McGregor, I assume? Because Conor Murray is off the bench for the Irish. Poor Fiji need to come back like the Terminator. And Daniel Craig says Salah. How tall was Daniel Craig? He's probably still taller than me, I would assume. Matawalu going back across to Davida Ikanaveri. Just having to work extremely hard here, Fiji, to get any sort of meterage. There's going to be a little bit of push and shove there between Doris and Arone Mawi. How's Fiji looking unprepared? Says Mr. Holland. Unfortunately, any time Ireland have been near their 22, they've just given away those penalties. Finally found Kate Bush running up that hill with David Gilmore playing guitar on vinyl. Apologies, but very happy finally found this. Says Kerr, I honestly, in terms of all the things you've said there, Kerr, I know what a vinyl is. I know what a guitar is as well, but I have no idea what those first two names are in terms of what they are from. Oh, that looked high from Bandiaki. Ponepate Loganamasi had a very quiet first half. Nice time, mate. Says Dennis, thank you very much. 5'10", yeah, so about the same height as myself. Your head is higher than the stadium roof, so you must be tall. Is that a record, Hamish? First half almost done and not a sneeze. Yeah, it's probably, to be fair, lately it's probably a record. We are almost there, 4 minutes remaining. It's a lot nicer when I don't have to sneeze every 5 minutes on a stream, I do have to say. James Bond gets in trouble a lot. Wonder if he has a 911 account. Says Rups and Roger Moore is 6'4". That rhymes. James Bond is my neighbour. Which one? And England versus Japan tomorrow, discuss. Might be one-sided, but of course Eddie Jones has coached both teams. Hopefully England can close out on a high. They've had a really rough November internationals. They've had 3 losses, all relatively close. What's the score? Says Araya at the moment. The score is 21 points to 3, which means the scoreboard's slightly behind. There we go. It has just updated itself. Nicely kicked downfield. Karawalevu now sitting about 40 metres out from his own line. Puts it high. Eddie's building, mate. Says Sakabola. Prendergast takes it well. And now Gus McCarthy. He hasn't done too badly on debut, other than, of course, the 2 wonky line-out throws. Fiji has brilliant individual players, but as a team, they are bad. Says Sheldon. Oh, Craig Casey. Back across. Oh, that's a cheap shot coming in. I don't think the timing was right on it. Bandiaki gets it to Matt Hansen, who's a long way off his right wing. And looks like he stayed down here for Frawley, so this could be another yellow card for a Fijian. Now kicked him behind. Nice territory gain for the Irish. Fiji will have the line out, but yeah, Frawley does not look flash at the moment. Kate Bush sold running up that hill to Placebo, and it is now how they open every concert. She was discovered at 15 years old by David Gilmore, Pink Floyd guitarist, and he bankrolled her start. I know of Pink Floyd. That's about all I know of it. They only did one of her songs together in 50 years, and I found it. Jeez, so you've done well. Where'd you find it, Kerr? First time on your channel. Great comments, mate. Appreciate it. Says Johnny, thank you very much, mate. We are back for 2 more games in a row on the channel as well. Arone Mawi's actually the man who put in the cheap shot, so even if this is a yellow card, he's still off for the rest of the game. Oh, slightly late, but still not quite late enough to be a penalty by the looks of it. Massive shot coming in, though. Would have hurt badly. I thought Fiji would win, spoken good stuff, or just stay in Ireland, says Malcolm. No foul play, says Jimbo. And Frawley always looks like an old camera. But without the flash, says Doctor. We are in the Matrix, says George as well. But Frawley getting a bit of a round of applause from the crowd. 2.5 minutes remaining, though, in this first 40 minutes. This has been 50 minutes worth of time for 37 minutes worth of rugby. That's going to be slapped away backwards. Now, coming forward there for the Flying Fijians, Craig Casey. One more pass to Bundyaki, who was met with a solid defence. Well, at least it looked like it was going to be solid till 3 missed tackles came. Judging by your facial expression, the shot was massive, says Lilia. That's one thing that Fiji cannot be denied, is the fact that they put in big hits throughout a game. Unfortunately, though, it's just finding that mix between physicality and discipline. And DuPont needs some suntan lotion rubbed on his back here, says Ruth. A terrible refereeing, it's sad for the beautiful game, says Blank Media. Speaking of sunburn or suntan lotion, I got sunburnt today on my forearms, which was very unfortunate. But then saying that, I did sunscreen pretty much everywhere but my arms, so that makes sense. That's why I love Henshaw as a player, says Emerald. Now 90 seconds remaining. Can the ref get the time violation? I don't think so, but I think they'll look at this game and go, this one's taken a long time. But there's been so much that they've checked, like TMO-wise, injury time as well. Bro Rupini is the nephew of the Prime Minister of Fiji. He said they are really relaxed on the laws of marijuana. It's an okay, says Ponko. Best actor, Carl Urban or Russell Crowe. You're not going to like me much, but I don't know who the first one is, so I'd have to go Crowe. Even though I also don't think I've ever watched a Russell Crowe movie. Oh, another stoppage here. Why is time off? Craig Casey's injured, but we weren't really near him. I think I've just worked out why we've had so much time that has been taken out of this game. Hamish, if I was in New Zealand, I could have volunteered to rub you everything. Suntan lotion, I mean. It's very generous of you, Ruth. Isn't Russell Crowe an Aussie? Don't think Fiji going to come back. Okay, penalty against Luke Tangi this time. Penalty for that tackle on Casey, says Jimbo. Looks like he is possibly going to be all right to continue here, Craig Casey, unless they don't want to take that risk. They might consider taking him off another card. True story, my bro's a crack up. I get him buds in New Zealand, funniest cat. He works with me on a prison build. And he lives in Aussie, says Solo. I've already found 8 wives on this dating site, all of them happy. Like on this dating site, as in like on YouTube? And not working for you? Says JP, who's Carl Urban? It's a good question. Unless it's Keith Urban. But then he's Australian. Oh, Australian, but was he born in New Zealand? As in Riddick? Okay, I don't know what that is. I probably should. I tell you what, this is going to be another one that people aren't happy about. We've learnt that I have very limited knowledge of movies and films. But I'm from New Zealand and I haven't watched Lord of the Rings. Which isn't good. Or The Hobbit. Is The Hobbit the same? I was about to ask a bad question, which could have got me in more trouble. Suntan lotion blocks vitamin D too. Got to get your vitamin D, says Moa Hunters. So I've got some D on my arms then. It didn't come out right. 5 metres out from the line. Another rolling ball chance here for Ireland. The ball has gone down. And Fiji defending well. And they will... Oh, hang on. Wait, why is it not a maul? So Ireland were going... It's not a maul because both had the ball. So because Ireland were going forward, it's going to be their scrum. And I don't think Fiji are the best at the moment. Scotland thrashed them. A few weeks ago, normally Fiji and Scotland would be a tight game. She's one of them, says George. And Amish, you watch rugby, that's all we like. Got her name, but she my wife. That's not a good start, George. You probably shouldn't forget your wives' names. That gets you in a bit of trouble, I would think. Also, calling your wife by the wrong name. One of your other wives. Didn't come out right at all. Says Lilia B. Yeah. I meant vitamin D on the forearms, not a different type of D. That's now going to be down in the front row again for scrums. Russell Crowe was born in Wellington but moved to Sydney, Australia. And I, Hamish, you guys, says 123 MS. Welcome in, mate. I think England has a historic view of Scotland quality. And OK Zero, thanks, says Salah. But currently 41 minutes through. Just trying to remember, the next game, I believe we're starting it at 6:10 for our coverage. That's going to be pretty tight because with how long this first half has taken, I'm your wife. How did you forget my name? There's the vault. No, Lucy, my ex-wife. And they can have Russell Crowe, although I really want to see Gladiator 2. Why isn't it halftime yet? Still one more play coming for the Irish. Sam Prendergast with the cross kick. Matt Hansen takes the catch. And it is another try now for Ireland. That is number 4 in the half. 26 points to 3. Prendergast getting a lot of the credit. Matt Hansen left unmarked out on the wing. This has turned into a slightly weird chat, says Sakabula. Other comments are way better than this game, says Dennis. And a kick and chase try, says Stephen, and Yawn, says JP. A lovely try, says Zero Connection. So yeah, another one coming for Ireland. A slip there from Karawalevu, whose feet just weren't quite underneath him. But yeah, that first half took 57 minutes to play 40 minutes of rugby. And Jesus, first half is dragging. Is it over yet? It is now over once this kick does go over. Too many wives to remember, says George. What a terrible problem to have. Did we get 46 at full time? Oh, hit the post. Has gone over from Prendergast, so that is now going to be half time. 28 points to 3. Scotland at times the past few years have been decent, but no bonus points, says Lilia B. And Irish Bloodhounds bouncing around. Fiji looks flat. Matavalu is absolutely dreadful at halfback, says Stephen, although he's their only option due to Frank Lamani being off the field with that injury. But still 25 points difference between these two teams. One wife is more than enough, says 123 MS, and ref needs to bin a few more in the second half if Fiji keep being this bad. They forgive me, I treat them with respect, says George. It's all the 50-plus age women in the chat. It's making it so weird, says JB. I don't think it's them making it weird. Caitlin Doris now making his way from the field with the team. They'll be happy enough with what happened there. Clocking out for this one. See you for the real rugby on the next one, says Jane. And we have got 30 minutes of build-up for that South Africa versus Wales game. No wife equals happy life, says Default. I'm loving this, Hamish. Surviving Storm Burt in Ireland here. Yeah, it's looked pretty rough up in the Northern Hemisphere for a few of the locations of these games. Cheap champers, says Salah. One moment, I am actually about to sneeze. We made it through the first half, but not by much. We are good. Granny's like Hamish, says 123 MS. Yeah, I'm not really sure why. But I do seem to, like, in terms of in real life as well, like I don't know. Maybe it's because I help my nana, like, in terms of fixing her phone, and then all of her friends talk about me now, which is a bit interesting. 15 degrees in Dublin, says 01 Brock 1. And we've got there also bought a record yesterday. Salah didn't realise the value of what he had. I paid £400 for a mint condition first pressing of Dark Side of the Moon. Average sale price £3,000 for mint condition. Yes, you're making money in every department, Kerr, at the moment. Definitely if it's a big high-scoring game between South Africa and Wales, I can imagine you're going to be a very happy man. So I will ask you, is that going to jinx it, asking you what you're going to purchase with the funds? Fiji don't improve in the second half. I'm done, says Stephen. The grannies bring out your sneezy side. This granny don't like ads, says Mr. Orlin. The atmosphere at the Viva today is bad from the telly anyway, says James. Well, I think it's just because they wanted a little bit of a more competitive game, and we haven't really had that at the moment. We have there anyone been over Livestream? He hates New Zealand, the whole country. I thought it was just the All Blacks, and now he hates the whole country. Sad life. Rugby Ascendant. I know of him. I assume he's live at the moment. Has the bowling alley granny contacted you again? She is not, but she was not a granny. She was like 35, maybe younger. I don't know where the granny side of it came from in that department. I looked for tickets for the game today. I said they were sold out, yet there's probably about 50 to 100 empty seats. Feel there is too many corporate, says James. And we have also got the Yes Ireland to keep this in the next 40 minutes. I don't really think Fiji is ready for this big game. I'll be buying more records. I'm currently finishing off my Pink Floyd collection, including unofficial releases. There are over 1,000 records, so a lot to get through, and many cost a high cost, says Kerr. Are you a cougar hunter, Hammy? Says Ponku. Not exactly. Like, I wouldn't say I do any real hunting in terms of the ladies, as you can tell by the way that I worded that. I just stay at my house and every once in a while get a message from people saying hello. And just kidding, I only have 3 wives and do live with them. I just don't know where I stay, says George. Fiji should play Wales. They did. They played them a little while ago, about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and they won. Fun fact. A pretty close game. I rolled 24-19. In the end, Scucks Deluxe chillin'. And the ladies hunt Hamish, duh, says Shay. What does that even mean? Honestly, I don't know. I just stay at the house, you know. Pretty much. Play a bit of cricket on the weekends. That's really next week I am going on a trip. So we decided that she was a granny, says Grant. And Ruth, we're under 0 overnight and expecting our first snow any day now in Philadelphia. Even Ref as a joke, says Asawa. And Fiji, their discipline, though, throughout this game, even if some of them weren't that great, they've still given away probably 10 legitimate penalties throughout this game. One of which, of Roni Mawi, which ended up costing him 10 minutes in the bin. What did I miss? Did Hamish score a granny? Not that I know of. Please, you just talk nonsense. Just talk about the game. Says, yeah. I'm not sure how to say that, unfortunately. I think it's an I at the start, but it could be an L at the same time. I think it's an I. Elisa, I think it might be. Yeah, currently halftime in this game, Fiji have been dominated from start to finish. 25 points down. They've really had 2 attacks, and that's about it. Other than that, Ireland have been mopping the floor with them. That's about all we can say, unfortunately. Just shows how bad Wales are. Hamish is hiding from ladies indoors. Thanks, Hamish. All right, kind of a trip, says Lilia B. I'm going to some cricket. So, other than cricket-related activities, not a huge amount of time outside of the house. No, I'm kidding and trolling you guys. I'm single, but will definitely buy my wife, Russian wife, says George. But yeah, I doubt that Fiji will be happy with their first half performance there. Just forever defending inside of their own 22. The score speaks for itself. Tell it like it is, Hamish, says Jimbo. Who's your favourite South African... Or which is your favourite South African city and why? I don't really know. I haven't actually been to any. I honestly don't know much about the cities other than the stadiums. How do we rate Hamish out of 100? Can't wait to see the results. Well, the game is kind of rubbish, says Dennis. If I had to rate myself, I'd rate myself a solid 17 out of 100. You know, I'd take that. A white female in charge of this game, says Asawa. It could be 60 pointer for Ireland if they keep consistent. Is it half-time? It is a half-time indeed. Yep, we are just waiting for the second half to get back underway. We have there, shut up, JP, acting like you know everyone age on here. You're really showing your IQ here, stupid boy, says Bonku. How was the Irish 10 not red carded though? Yeah, that's a great question, because like they said, normally mitigation, as soon as you don't wrap your arms, you take away any sort of mitigation that you could have in your favour. So the fact that the player was down to Neath, I think saved him a bit. But once again, with the fact that he did hit him with the shoulder, like it easily could have been a red. And there could be a 60-pointer for Ireland. We have got there. How do you think the Scots are going to get on against the Aussies? Oh, See, that's the thing. That is the game of the weekend that I have no idea about. In terms of like score prediction, Scotland at home, you'd think they'd be able to win. But then at the same time, Australia have gone up north, really showing some great skills. So it could go either way. If Fiji keep giving penalties, it could be that high. Says Stephen, it's Tuisova showing. Says Wate, he's had some decent moments. Oh, Tuisova, it's just more so like he hasn't had many chances on attack. Fiji have only been inside of Ireland's 22 for 15 seconds throughout this game. Oh, is that not a red card? Northern Hemisphere refs should go back to school. Bloody bias, stick to rugby. Says John, Fave Stadium, Murrayfield with Flowers, Scotland and the bagpipes blaring out. I mean, I do like the environment at Murrayfield. Loftus is quite a cool stadium to kind of see from the TV as well, or a couple of those big South African ones. Eden Park, if you're talking about New Zealand, it's really the only one that completely stands out. And then, I mean, the Aviva, the atmosphere when it is a big test match over there, and the Stade de France, in terms of the light show that they put on, is always extremely impressive. So I feel like there's like different stadiums for different countries. I listed about 6, didn't I? Was Sam Prendergast's high tackle a red in your opinion? I think that because he had no wrap of the arms, it easily could have been red. Like, they've said that there were mitigating factors, and I think that is the fact that the player was down on his knee at the time where he got struck, but Prendergast went in with no arm wrap whatsoever. So, honestly, if it had been a red, I don't think many people would have been disappointed. Australia riding high crest at the moment. I think they could upset Scotland. Says 0, and Fiji is cracking down hard. 16 years of oppression, says Rups. If you ever come to Cape Town, the Greenpoint Stadium is very good. No bad seats for a rugby match. And the time is 1:45, says George there as well. Currently for us here in New Zealand, it is 5:17. And normally by now, we would have had the second half start. We are an hour and 7 minutes in. Hopefully we're not too far away from the second half getting back underway. We'll quickly check. We've had about 8 minutes of the break, or maybe 9 minutes. So hopefully this game is going to be finished by the time we want to start our next live stream. We're going to need it to go relatively free-flowing. Ireland, of course, having most of the possession throughout that first half. Fiji having a couple little moments on attack, but other than that, nothing really firing back at this Irish team. It's 16:50, so 4:50 in Edinburgh, says Johnny. Also, if Australia win a Grand Slam, Smith will get fired and replaced by an Aussie coach, says Doctor, and consistently once again in question. Different refs. I might have been a different outcome, says Lilia B. Now we are just waiting for this second half to get back underway in this matchup. Fiji already given away around 12 or 13 penalties throughout that first half, something that has to heavily improve in the second if they want any chance of at least coming back in this game. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think we've got a chance of seeing a Fijian comeback, but there is still enough time left that we could see Fiji at least give themselves a decent enough showing in this game. I think that would be the main thing. Just going out there and trying to close out this game on a bit of a high and show everyone what they can do. A ref is such a red flag, says Stephen. And George will start debunking ghost videos, says JD280. And also we've got there, it's been Fiji's weakness for as long as I can remember, says JP. Yeah. And until that discipline gets that little bit better, and I don't know whether or not it's just adapting to playing different sides, that is the struggle for the Fijians, but like pretty much every breakdown, it seems like they're almost giving away a penalty of some sort. And it's just a matter of time until they get kind of pulled up for it. How can you call for a red for that? Cry when Argentina got a yellow for the headbutt on Crowley. Says a Jimbo there. Which one we talking? I honestly can't even remember last week in terms of what happened in the rugby world. I assume that was the... I'm trying to think of who did it. Was it Scalavi who ended up doing it? But I think it's because of that arm wrap that people are a little bit concerned about. Are you enjoying the autumn wrap-up? Says Reno. It's been good so far in terms of the international games of rugby. Like this round, I'll be honest, this is like that round of the Rugby World Cup where most of the games were going to be pretty one-sided and they were just technicality contests. Like this is probably going to be the equivalent of it for the international game, but that doesn't mean that it won't be an entertaining round of games. Fiji always play better on the second half, so I'm expecting some good plays. So what happened if Ireland, if they win the match, whereas Ireland will be in the rankings, says Jared, I believe they will keep their spot in second in the overall standings, just because they can't actually gain too much from this game with where Fiji are ranked. I think World Rugby will do away 20-minute red card. I think they will have to. Like, a lot of people have been complaining about it. Sometimes a red card for 20 minutes does make sense, but in other cases, some are more severe, so it's a tricky one. I don't know whether they'll look at an orange card being a thing or whether, like, that would cause more problems. Probably would, so I think they'll just go with a red being the full 80. But Super Rugby, I think, will still keep it as a 20-minute red card. Matawalu should never be playing halfback ever again. Excuse me, Hamish. Is Tim doing live streaming tonight, says JD. I don't think so. I think that this France versus Argentina game yesterday was the only match he could do. Unless I'm wrong. He might be doing one tomorrow, but from what I heard, I think he was going to be busy today. What's Fiji's ranking in right now? Says Default. I believe they are 10th in the overall standings. I could be slightly wrong there. France will veto the 20-minute red card. It won't happen. There's a big yawn for 5:20 a.m. New Zealand time, but now second half just about to start up, ladies and gents. They've just said there, Fiji have never beaten 3 opposition from Europe in a row. And unless something goes really, really well for them here and Ireland absolutely butcher this, I think that's going to continue. There is no need for a 20-minute red card. It's not rugby league, says Grant. And Fiji need to wake up, says Ruth. And there as well, yep. Sam Prendergast about to kick this one up. Do you think World Rugby will do away with the 20-minute red card? I think that they'll get rid of it. But like I said, I think Super Rugby, they will keep it. But now nicely taken by Kitione Salawa. Matawalu. Going off to the right-hand side. Luke Tangi hits it up. For Fiji, they just need some decent possession, some backline movements to break through the opposition defence. Fiji ranked 9th, says Rups. Nicely taken by Frawley under the high ball. Smashed by Tuisova on the halfway line. Passing across, Prendergast goes to Bundyaki. Our white to Jacob Stockdale. Nice step on the inside and hit hard. Might be holding his face there. I think he might have been connected with a little bit high. And 4:23 a.m. here in Fiji. Breaking the line now, Tyke Byrne. Does seem like Ireland are going to pick up from exactly where they left off. Frawley goes straight through the gap. Hard by Penny Matawalu. Oh, he's accidentally taken out the 9, Craig Casey. Now across to Prendergast, Henshaw. Goes across to Stockdale. You take on the Northern Hemisphere teams, Ireland and France, I guess. Says Reno. Take on the Northern, as in like the best Northern Hemisphere teams, or just in terms of them in general for what they've done throughout November. Nice step in from Prendergast, but again wrestled down by Caleb Muntz. Henshaw inside ball to Doris. 22 metres from the line. Casey goes back across to Mac Hansen. Short ball to Tyke Byrne. Just good phase play at the moment for the Irish. And now the skip pass out wide. A little bit of a slip there. Jacob Stockdale cuts back in. Needed the offload but couldn't get it away. And Tavita Ikanaveri gets over the ball and wins the penalty for Fiji. That is Christian. And for 20 time. What do you think of Harry Plummer going to France? I think it's the right move. If he's not going to be given minutes in an All Blacks kit, there's not much point in sitting and hoping that you will. I don't think he'll be the only player as well. I think there'll be a couple other guys who might consider going overseas if they do get the contracts. And AB's going to hammer Italy. They are considered as the biggest favourite of the weekend. I think South Africa's second favourite, and then it went to probably Ireland up against the Fijians as the third, unless it might have actually been England over Japan, actually. All day, Jimmy, says Christian there. Scotland deserve a lot of credit for how they've played this year. Confident of a strong Six Nations, says Johnny. Yeah, they've looked overall like a really well-oiled side for the Scottish, and I just hope that it does back up into a decent Six Nations as well. I blame Razor for Plummer leaving New Zealand. Yeah, although the thing is, Ian Foster, if he was still coach, we don't even know if he would have been playing Plummer. So, like, you can blame the coach, but Harry Plummer, like, he'll go overseas. He'll get some experience. It's not a bad thing. Like, because if you're only going to give him a couple minutes and not select him in the squad after the game that he's had, for all, he's taken another head knock and we've got another stoppage now for the player safety side of things. Overall best performance, not too sure of Wales, England and Scotland, to be honest. Overall performance for the November internationals, I would say France. They pulled off some big wins, beating Argentina, New Zealand. And then, that first win up against the Japanese, it's a hard landing. Ronnie Mawi really pushing the line between what's legal and illegal in this game. Stockdale on his one arm, no offload from his other hand. "43 minutes in. Now he will continue in this match. It looked like his head got crushed, though. Why is Razor such a stubborn coach? Says Manny M. You'd have to ask him. So do Ireland go up in the rankings? Says Jared, not for this game, I don't believe. I'll get the world rankings up, but I don't think they get a lot from this contest. I think the only thing that changes is if there was a draw or a win. So Ireland are currently second. Yeah, with the score, Ireland can't go up in the world rankings. South Africa can't go up in the world rankings either, but New Zealand actually can, up against the Italians. If New Zealand win their game up against the Italians, they'll go up 0.18, but that would not be enough to catch the Irish. Why would France... Okay, France have already gone up 0.43. So yeah, if Italy were to cause the upset up against New Zealand would drop to 4th. If South Africa were to lose to Wales, South Africa would actually drop to 2nd, and Ireland would be back to number 1 in the world rankings, but they'd be tied in terms of the points that they're on. I hear somewhere that he's trying to please his coaches. Found that very interesting, says Mr. Orland, but now we have got the scrum of the halfway line, and again, the front rows have collapsed. England been great but unlucky, says 9HD. Yeah, they've been extremely unlucky throughout these November internationals. They're down to 7th at the moment. The amount of points that they have dropped, like if they were to lose to Japan as well, like they would drop to 9th in the overall rankings, which would be just a massive downpour. Italy would actually go up to 8th if that was to take place. The French are impressive, I think. And Australia being an island might help ABs jump them, says Jimbo. That is also true. They have, of course, still got one more game next week. The Irish up against the Aussies. Now on the halfway line, another scrum. This game, honestly, has been a continuation of slow moments in terms of the stoppages we have had. Nice inside ball from Robbie Henshaw. Now Frawley sitting 40 metres out from the line. Craig Casey almost cleaning up one of his Irish players who does duck underneath. Very excited. See Honeycomb get a cap tonight. Now hopefully he gets some decent minutes and not like a few late in the game. Like I think they'll give him 20 minutes or so, maybe even more. South Africa will stay number 1, says Simon. They should do, unless something drastic happens up against the Welsh and they somehow lose that game. They should be number 1 at the end of November. Matt Hansen had a mixed game. He's had some basic errors in this contest. This game, I mean, he really would have wanted to step up, but at the end of the day, he's probably still got that 14 jersey. Then here's Simbin, another Fijian player, says James. Do England want to lose against Eddie Jones? That would be funny, says Cited. And there was a forward pass, says Stephen. Australia takes Scotland, their Oldham games end good. Says Rayner, I mean, for Australia, even at this stage, to be 3 from 3 up till this point is massive for the Aussies. Oh, sorry, 2 from 2, but then they would be, of course, 3 from 3 if they can get the win over the Scottish. That's going to be nicely taken by Tyburn. Now McCarthy goes across to Bundyaki, runs over the top of Muntz. Fiji still managing to drag him down. Finlay Beale and chopped down by Tavita Ikanaveri as well. Now Bundyaki passes in behind Mac Hansen with a quick hands out to Izzy Cormac, who's been isolated Oh, Holly Davison's gone down. She's been cleaned up, but Bundy Aki goes through the gap and scores the try. Now that ref got smacked, could be a try, says Mr. All-In. And England going to win tomorrow, says Jared. And I'm happy for Australia finding some form. Hopefully they can continue the improvements, but that try will come for Bundy Aki. Okay, Holly Davidson has said she's missed what's happened. The touch judge has said he's missed it too because he was looking at her. Okay, they just want to make sure there is no obstruction there. Checks on the lady now. Holly, a tough lass. In terms of rankings, they're Australia Tier 1 fastest climbers. I mean, overall for the Aussies, they have gone up. Like, they're in 7th at the moment. In fact, I think they're in 8th at the moment. But if they get the win over Scotland, then they would actually be 6th. So I would say that they've had the most successful tour in terms of, like, being able to gain rankings. Okay, they can stick with the on-field decision of try. She's great at being in the way, says JP. Ollie's a great ref, proud, says Johnny. And that guy lined her up. Gonna see it the Aki though. Just those nice quick passes from the Irish. And come on, Fiji, says Stephen there. Yeah, Aki managing to score. Probably a much-deserved try. He's been a busy man throughout this game and also throughout November. Not playing in the second game, but playing up against the All Blacks in the opener. And Prendergast gets it over again. Now the score 35 points to 3. This one getting more and more one-sided as we head towards the end of the game. Looks like Finlay Bielham, he has made his way from the field. Same with Andrew Porter and same with Josh Van den Flair. So they've made 3 changes in those departments. Look at their average age in the team now. They'll be reaching peak by the next World Cup. That's what I'm saying. Says Justin. O'Toole and Clarkson both on the field now. And nice pass out to Bundy Aki again. Finding open space and tries to sit down Matawalu, who's done incredibly well to stay on him. Casey, quick hands to Burn. Now a little pop pass up again to Doris. And Kian Prendergast, he is on the field for Josh Van den Flair, looking for the 50-22. The ball stays in the field of play. Fiji is sad right now, says Doctor. Yeah, certainly not the match that Fiji would have wanted to end out their November internationals. And damn, seems like it's come down to mano a mano. Says Mr. All-In. And right, says JP. Oh, time is off again. Bundy Aki just showing off his pace. And then just can't quite get rid of Penny Matawalu. I voted, says Eric. And, yep, Fiji got no hope, says Jared. But Cam Prendergast onto the field now for Josh Van den Flair. Out of the down Aki after that hit. I think he just grabbed the leg. Just managed to get the single leg on him and just dragged him down with him. And a lot of young Irish players coming through. No worries, says Karma Pitch. Now another line out throw for Gus McCarthy here. And nice bit of work there. Now, that's a good gap that's opened up again. Jacob Stockdale looks for the pass, gets it away to Frawley. Now Mac Hansen, chance out on the wing. He gets bundled into touch. They did well, to be fair. Fiji well on their tour, says JD. Yeah, having 2 out of the 4 wins. I think they'll still take that. The win over the Welsh, I think, is one of the biggest one. Hell of a tackle into touch there, says Johnny. Oh, we got another stoppage. They did well, to be fair. Fiji did well on their tour. And the youngsters on the Irish bench, give them a chance now. I wonder what Fiji beer tastes like. I think Fiji Gold's quite nice by the sounds of it. My mum and dad were in Fiji for a golf tournament. They were fond of the Fiji Gold. Mac Hansen just, big shot coming in from Kitioni Salawa to drive him into touch. Crowd at the Aviva still enjoying this match of Ireland making the time. I feel like it's 75 minutes already, says Mr. All In. Yeah, it's already been, since the start of this game, we've had 85 minutes since the start of this game. Surely that's wrong. But I don't think it is. 85 minutes to have 50 minutes of rugby played is not ideal. Now Meri Derialangi tackled. Penny Matawalu. Fiji bounty like poison. Says Solo. Downfield. Towards the halfway line. Matt Hansen takes it on the 50 metres. Now gets it across to Frawley, who's smashed by Tuisova again. He's taken some big hits today, Frawley, that is for sure. Came on early for Jamie Osborne. Connor Murray now passes it off to Stuart McCloskey, gets through one. Pathetic tackling from Naya Talevu. Now almost another gap opening up. And Fiji get themselves the penalty for the player rolling on the ground. That is against, I think it was McCarthy. Yes, it was. 14, says Mr. Allin. So I think we're up to that stage, ladies and gents. We have to ask the question, will Fiji score themselves a try in this game? And it seems like it's a bit early, of course, to be asking that, but can they do it? They currently do not have one. Amani's working in Sydney. She says Aussies are so sexist. Is this true? Says Karma Peach. Well, as a New Zealander, of course, I do not spend much time in Australia, but I honestly don't know. Like, it just probably depends on, it's like all things. It's like when you go on like social media and whatnot, like certain people are different in their views and their whatnot. But like, yeah, like in terms of like, I haven't experienced, but then saying that I'm also not your niece, you know, so I don't really get the same comments. Great debut from, is it Chukwu? Yeah, Izzy Cormac doing well in that debut role of 6. If Wallace Aditi went overseas, would he still be selected for the ABs, I wonder? Probably not, although they would also still look at their eligibility rule. More than likely, nice work. Getting out wide, Ponipate looking at Marcia will be knocked on by Ireland. And now Muntz got the ball in hand, just scrambling the Irish defence all over the Fijians. Bring back Rapini. I mean, he certainly helped them. That is for sure. Not having Semi Radradra for this game as well, I think does hurt them. There been any scrums, I can't remember. We've seen a lot of scrums. I think probably about 7 in this game. New Zealand is more tolerant and fair. Says Karma. Who else is at 6? Says Mr. All In. If you're talking about who else in terms of like the reserves or in terms of the Fijians. Because Meri Delialangi is there for Fiji. Coach, why if on God's green and blue earth, take Ikanaveri off for Sam Matavisi. The atmosphere at the Aviva is so terrible. Today is like a graveyard, says James. That's going to be another penalty. Yeah, I feel like everyone, for this game in particular, because it's so one-sided, like everyone almost, I would say, feels bad to cheer, if that makes sense. Like it's 52 minutes in and there's just a very, that's a good kick from Kayla Muntz. This will get him about 5 metres out from the line. Drunks in every country, says Solo. Must be my bad memory then, says Cited. Irish way home unless Irish leave field, says Roof. I think the atmosphere up against the Aussies next week, though, will be a little bit more electric at the Aviva. NZRU need to get rid of the overseas policy. I can understand why they've got it, though. Yes, at times it's annoying, but at the same time, they want to try and keep some talent in New Zealand. That shouldn't matter. Your team's still winning. Says 9HD. This game is on so long. Already getting updates of the bot game build-up on another channel, says Cited. And that is probably one of the main reasons as well. This game's had a lot of the steam taken out of it. It's been going for 90 minutes for 53 minutes of action. Another penalty going the way of Fiji. This will only be about 5 metres out from the line, and they will once again kick it towards the touchline. The stoppage is killing the atmosphere. Just about to enjoy an 18-year-old dram. I have no idea what that is, but enjoy. If you take this or take off the Irish team from the field, Fiji will still give away penalties and Ireland to score 60 plus here. says Ted. I mean, they've still got a bit of time. Matavesi overthrown and a big shot coming back from Doris. I've seen a fair few from the Fijians in this game. Doris decided to get one back of his own. Now Fiji, 10 metres out from the line. Tosaveti, keep that standard. Now Matavesi, tackled again, this time by Tom O'Toole. And Herete Hetet. Oh, good work in the breakdown from Ireland. Just a disrupt, but the pick and go around the side there over Fiji for their first try of the contest. I have no idea how he's managed to score that one, Kitione Salawa. Somehow just stayed almost on his feet, almost at crawling height. The rest of the reason it isn't a free-flowing game, says Stephen, deserves that score, says Johnny, but Kitione Salawa. A dram is a whiskey, says Daryl Roberts there, and let's go, says Blues Nate. They've been grinding in the middle, need set piece, says Mr. All In. And we see it there. Kitione Salawa, I have no idea how he stayed on his feet to run there, because he was pretty much at a 90-degree angle and just kept on pumping forward. This game has been so long. My wife is Asian to Hamish's type territory, says Grant. And Sleepy Hooker led him past. Real Rugby will start again in the URC next week, says Outlaw. No whiskey, no Ian Whiskey, says Johnny. But now, Caleb Muntz does get the kick over, and they'll make the score 35 points to 10. I ordered myself some sweet and sour chicken, a feet for the box game, says Justin. I was hoping for better news before seeing that score, says Locker. Come on, Fiji, please make this a spectacle in the last 20. I'm rooting for you. And impressive kick, I must admit, says Zero Connection there as well. Yeah, currently in terms of the odds, the Fijians are no longer an option in terms of the odds, I should say. Oh, actually, England are the biggest favourites of the weekend up against the Japanese, ladies and gents. There's a knock-on, though, from Fiji off the kickoff. The last thing that they wanted. Has been blowing the the whistle a lot today. Seems to be making a flow game slow. Says James, and come on, Fiji, please make this a spectacle in the last 20. I don't think the Fijians run up mountains for training. Says Cited. Probably. I think a lot of teams do enjoy a vertical climb in terms of their preparation for games. And defend Fiji, says Stephen. And yeah, now they certainly have to. It's going to be a tough one. 24 minutes remaining, though, in this game. And we have only got, I believe, 27 minutes until the build-up is going to be starting for our next live stream. So this is going to be extremely tight. In fact, it might even be right on the verge of us being late for that next one. My mother was Welsh and father Hungarian. It makes me well hung. And stoppages and more to do with the Fijian discipline and infringements. And ref needs to give Fiji yellow again. They are giving away so many penalties, says James. Now, a little bit of a counter-up coming from the Fijians again here, but Ireland have got themselves the penalty again. On the ground. Why you hate the ref, says JP. Is that to me or to the comments? Good call, ref. It says it was Mr. All-In. Will Richie Mo'unga ever play for the All Blacks again? Maybe in like 2027, somewhere around there, but not in the near future. He said about how he was going to try and get out of his Japanese contract, but then, of course, that makes you pretty much unsignable for any other team in the future because everyone goes, well, he just wants to leave again. But Gus McCarthy, line-out throw here, 5 metres out from the line. And almost stolen by the Fijians. Tyke Byrne gets it now. Casey Bundyaki straightens with his run. Forward being tackled by Kitione Salawa again. Two-man tackle on Tyke Byrne. It seems Fiji struggle with discipline in the 15-man game. They certainly do. And there's been many times in this game that they've hurt themselves badly by giving away silly penalties. KC, looking short side, gets a little pop pass up to Ian Henderson. And back across to the left, Joe McCarthy. Now Casey goes across again to the left-hand side to Tyke Byrne, who's had a lot of carries in the first 58 minutes of this game. Now Prendergast, wide cut-out pass goes to Frawley. One more pass to Connor Murray. It was forward, though. Connor Murray didn't even look that disappointed. I feel like he might have slightly known that it drifted forward. But Frawley, it's not awfully forward, but it has drifted there. Ginger playing for Ireland makes so many handling errors, says JP. So that is Kieran Frawley. That one wasn't awful. What a terrible pass from Frawley. International teams need to allow players to play rugby outside of their country to increase their player pool, really. Doesn't make any sense to only select local players anymore, even for New Zealand, says Cited. And Argentina and Fiji need to work on discipline. And I hate these ads during your broadcast, says Sakabula, and also the South African flag there from LaRue as well. We've got ourselves another stoppage here. Rangathoke making his way onto the field. That is for Timo Mainavanua and Albert Tuisui onto the field for Meriteri Alangi. Finally caught Hamish with one of my jokes, says Locken. But now scrum feed again. Hello, Hamish, how's it going? What was the full-time score of France versus Argentina? I couldn't watch the full game because I had to go to sleep. So France ended up winning that game by 14 in the end. Have they asked about the pants? They have not, no. If you get ads or YouTube Premium, you won't get ads. Hamish is one of these people who'll be very good looking from 30 onwards. I'm not sure about that. I think I'll age badly in like 2 years' time. Does being a member remove ads? Honestly, completely honest answer, I have no idea. I don't think so. I think you just get access to the emojis and whatnot, but I don't think it removes ads, unfortunately. Is it only in certain countries that they have ads? I don't have any, says Lilia B. Not sure. Once again, I really don't know a lot about YouTube, I'll be honest. I just sit down and start streaming. Like, the streaming software we use isn't actually completely through YouTube either. It's like through a separate one that then puts it onto YouTube. I don't want to be that guy, but the ref have screwed Fiji in this game. Shake my head. Says LB. Now going back across to the right-hand side, Bundy Arkey. One more on the outside. McCloskey has Frawley. Now finds the pass to Hansen, who puts the chip in behind. Fiji looking to defender. Karawalevu looks for the pass to Gita Wainyolo. Good pressure from Frawley. And McCloskey wrestles him down. You still get ads as a member. If you subscribe and donate $100, it removes the ads, and also you get to watch a live stream for free. That is just not true. Did you see that line out? Here's Mr. Orlin. Honestly, no. I was too busy reading the chat, but that one has gone into Dutch from Caleb Muntz. But you are that guy. Ref has been great, says Jimbo, and Fiji made 10 few. Yeah, like they've probably done well to get to 10 in this game. Oh, time is off again. Why is time off? We got another injury. Yeah, we do. There's been so many injuries in this game between the two sides. Another substitution about to take place as well. It looks like Sorelli Mangwala and Villamoni Botitu probably not too far away from making their way on. Naetha Levu off for Villamoni Botitu here. Will South Africa stay number one? They certainly will. I can't believe there's still 20 to go. Feel like I've been watching this all day. Says Johnny, I'll get someone to donate $100 one day, says Locken. Yeah, and then I'll have to explain to them that it was a prank, won't I? That is, I think that is 3. So here's Mr. Orlin. But now just a little bit of scrapping going on to an Irish player. Yeah, this game's been an hour 40. So, like, yeah, we're running behind by maybe about 15 minutes, but it's still hopefully going to be done by 2-hour mark. How many times have you said time's off in this game? There's been a lot. It looks like Craig Casey, he's all strapped up, ready to go now to continue in this match. We have got there, I'm happy with the score, but it's been a stop-start kind of game, no flow. I know it doesn't remove ads, I'm getting the odd one, says Moa Hunters, and lots of stoppages, really not a great ad for rugby. Says Sakabula. Seriously, are you still hitting on Hamish? Do you not have a cringe meter, says JP? And now, going forward, Caleb Muntz does do nicely. I don't think Ruth said anything, JP. Looking through. Oh, a sweet woman with Tia Maria in there as well. What's a Tia Maria? Definitely number one chest beaters. Says Paul Walker, and wrong choice with the grubber there. It will make you strong, Amish, and builds character. That one kick downfield from the goal line dropout. Now Bundyaki, 25 metres out for the line here for the Irish. Can we see a bit more oomph in the later stages of this game? Kieran Frawley. Now Craig Casey. Doris. Now Casey again. Inside ball. Nice hands from the Irish. Mac Hansen having a spin and go back across to the left-hand side. Frawley goes across to Stuart McCloskey. Tries to put in the fend. And BS advantage is Stephen there. Now Craig Casey tries the cross kick. Henderson tries to slap it back in, but they'll go back for yet again another penalty advantage against the Fijians. Aki made some serious meters tonight. I wonder how much on the stats says Mr. All-In. And only Fiji tactic that has worked is smashing the small guys. I was wrong if she hits, what's that on, Hamish? Says 9HD. Now that one's going to be kicked into touch. About 5 metres out again here. Another rolling maul chance for the Irish. JP is jealous. Says Sakabola. Nicely taken there. Tim, I need to pop in my hot chocolate sweet, says Ruth. Now rolling maul. McCarthy has it at the back. Looks like Casey wanted to take it off. And Bundyaki, though, joining that maul. And it is another try here for Ireland. Gus McCarthy on debut scores it. Just have another look at that rolling maul. Bundyaki, I think, joined after Gus McCarthy was at the back and then went in front of him. I don't think that's illegal, but it just looked a bit strange. Normally you got to shift that ball backwards, but maybe he was still at the back, was he? We're going to see the replay here. You see, Bundyaki ended up in front of him. I don't know the rolling maul rule enough, though. See you all the live chat during South Africa-Wales game. Tia Maria Alika. I think it's either Spanish. It's really nice and coffee. I do know that, Hamish. Says Kerno Wick. Fiji penalties are over 9,000. Yes, so many against them in this game. They're trying to assist for the Irish debutant prop. Well, you mean the hooker, maybe. And Gus McCarthy. Andy Farrell, bit of a smile on his face, but the Irish have moved up to 42 points. Pretty one-sided here between the two sides. Over ice cream, perfect for this weather, says Sakabola. And Tosaviti says Stephen there. Now it's going to be slapped back here for Fiji. They have got themselves the knock-on advantage. Here comes Vilimone Botitu. In fact, this time it's Soreli Mongwala. I think Fiji have made all of their changes now. Caleb Muntz, straight up the middle, gets the offload away. And the big man will score for Fiji. Setariki Taranga Thoke does get the try. That's a pretty quick answer back. We have their YouTube ads annoying when commenting. Worst part is Hamish asking me for my prediction. The buddy ads came up. I'm guessing kind of awkward moment. Says Blues Nate there. Yeah, in terms of Fiji being able to score that try, they've now got themselves the 2. Do you agree that if you buy a YouTube Premium, then you're just kind of wasting your money? Besides the ads you can still watch, and if you buy it, you're kind of wasting your money on nothing. You can also download YouTube videos, though. So, like, if you've got a flight or something that doesn't have Wi-Fi or a long drive, it is much cheaper than using data, depending on your plan that you've got. Like, being able to download a video and then edit it, I guess, is also quite cool. But that one's going to go over from Fiji, 42-17. Game's not over yet, but that was a quick-fire try, and it just shows how dangerous Fiji can be when they actually get through the gap and find that rhythm. A great offload from Caleb Muntz to then get it to the big man, Taranga Thoke. I'm so glad that Fiji are ending well. Also shows a weakness in the Irish bench. What a sleepy story. Don't waste your money on premium. But then again, we do it. Sarah Blues, no, that's going to be knocked on by Fiji again. They just can't handle a kickoff at the moment. And now Ireland looking to go straight back. Doris with the inside ball to Gus McCarthy. So only 5 metres out. Casey goes off to Ian Henderson. Another penalty advantage for offside. I'm going to lock up shop and go home. I'll see you here for the Springbok game. See you guys later. Says Lockin. Oh, diving through the middle of the breakdown. Another penalty. Another yellow card for Fiji here as well. It's such a dumb yellow card to give away, says Grant. It is really, isn't it? Right, so the man who just scored, Tarangathoke, he will now make his way from the field for a yellow. 3 more penalties in 30 seconds, says Jimbo. What's up, Blues Nate? Yep, I agree, says Marnus. Another chance to kick this one towards the corner for the Irish, or they might just go for the quick tap and go, which does look like it will be the way forward. Still 13 minutes left on the clock, so that will mean that Fiji will be back to full men on the field, possibly with 3 minutes to go. That is, of course, if they don't give away more penalties before that stage. Now Bundy Aki tries to spin, but gets tackled by Caleb Muntz. Casey with a flat ball off to Clarkson. Only date woman who watched Star Wars when it came out and thought it was for kids. Says cool story. Now short side, Matt Hansen in the corner. Another try for Ireland. 47-17. It's certainly a high scoring one. Someone predicted a 70-point game, and they might not be a mile off with the way that this one is going. There's now 12 international tries for Matt Hansen. All came from diving over the middle of the breakdown. Finally, a card, says James. We have Grandpa sitting on Grandma's great, says JP. And damn, it's so late. It's like arriving home after your kids have been made. And may the foreskin be with you, says Dr. Poe. But yeah, nice pass out to Matt Hansen, who gets in the corner. Ilya Thanakaivata tried to push him towards the touchline. And the Ads win. I gave in Marnus, by the way. Good, buddy. Now Sam Prendergast again to strike this one. Hasn't got it the cleanest, so his first miss of the day. Still a 30-point margin, though, between these two teams. 47-17. So another 11 minutes go. We could see 2 or 3 more tries in that remaining time, but Aki's done some hard yards throughout this game. Then Casey just picking out Hansen on that short side to see him in that gap. Now going to be kicked off there. Fiji haven't kicked to the 10, and Ireland do claim it with Henderson. Now Murray back across there to Tyke Byrne. Oh, ball bounces out the side. Sam Matavesi has dove on it, which you sadly are not allowed to do. You have to grab it without jumping down. Dived on the emerging ball from the ruck. It is a penalty, but it's just a poor way to give one away for the Fijians. JP, you have over 18 years old for this XXX rated chat, darling. Says Ruth. Now Sam Prendergast kicks it towards the touchline again. So far, what we have seen is a lot of short passes coming from the Irish, but also over 10 metres. They've tried 53 passes in this game of Fiji, given another 2 penalties, yellows, or another pen, 2 yellows at this point, and Fiji flying 17. So here's Ruth there as well. But Gus McCarthy now getting ready for the line out. Someone needs to line the ref up against is Mr. Haaland. Now thrown in. Nicely taken. Craig Casey goes across to Prendergast. Short ball to Bundy Aki, who goes through 2, gets through 3, and is going to be on his back. So he's unable to score it. It will be held up, and it is the goal line dropout. What's the Fijian penalty count? Honestly, at this point, probably about 18 penalties against them. It may even be higher. Last time I saw it, it was 10, and that was probably about 10 penalties ago. Sorry, typo at this point, I mean. And we have got there Reggie's having a great game. If Fiji can't catch the restart, they deserve to be pumped, bruh. Says Ribbity. Now goal line dropout goes out. Nicely taken by Stuart McCloskey. I like the suit. Kiwilia kia ora. Says Manu, welcome in, mate. Thank you very much for being here. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got 2 more games coming back-to-back. Wales, they will be taking on the South Africans. That is the next game kicking off in 40 minutes' time. Then after that, we've got New Zealand versus Italy. Another one to keep an eye on. Wide cut-out pass from Prendergast doesn't work out. Seems to have been a trend throughout this game. Awesome work. Solly encouraged more women to get involved at top duty. A bad game for Ireland, can't score 50, says Cited. They have called for another scrum here. And yeah, just going forward there from the Irish. Cited, 8 minutes left, says Ted Bundy. And Crocs roll the like button, and Ireland will probably feel great getting this win, but I don't think they have much to celebrate. This Fiji team is horrific, says JP. Elliot getting pumped later, says Johnny. Yeah, that Wales versus South Africa game is going to be an intriguing one, whether or not we see a good showing from the Welsh. They are on an 11-match losing streak. Of course, we're going to be doing the build-up for that game in a very short moment, in about 9 minutes' time. It's when that one will be starting. Thank you for that, thanks, says Latia. No worries at all. Now, Penny Matawalu puts the ball into the scrum. To take Hamish for a masala steak Gatsby. Says great. Says Grant. I should say nice run forward from Soreli Mungwala. Thought about the inside ball, but couldn't quite get it away. Now using this one quickly. Caleb Munt's rough pass and another knock on coming from the Fijians. And they'll go back for the scrum now. Ireland's going to blame it, missing players. Says Doctor. And Ireland into pro system is in dire straits, says Fionn. And Light says Christian. And there as well. I think Bundyaki has just received player of the match. He's had a really good showing throughout this game. And yeah, Ross Byrne, not Ross Byrne, but Mick Byrne, not looking happy in the coaching box. Bro, why didn't that guy kick to the wing on the right after that line break? French try all day. So here's Robert T. And that yellow card completely effed Fiji out of the game, says Stephen. Now 6.5 minutes left. And we'll have to take Hamish for steak Gatsby's. Why would you name yourself Ted Bundy? Says JP. Kalen Doris going to be in the back line by the looks of this. To wait to see how he goes there. They'll kick him behind from Sam Prendergast. Hansen pushing over a player. And now Gita Wainanyolo. Oh, big dropping of Kieran Frawley. Ball on the inside, and they are in touch again there, Fiji. Is that the Timu tie with the adjustable elastic feature? If yes, not a bad buy. It's still looking fresh. It is not. No, that one lit up like a Christmas tree. So, yeah, we decided to not wear that one. But yeah, that was interesting. The moment that we learned that the zip actually let it adjust rather than being one size. Still here, as always, says Robert. And 7:40 says Sakabula for when that game will be starting. She said you got a Timu tie. Says Doctor, she is correct. We did get one. It was on the Scotland versus Fiji live stream, I think, that we showed it, or it might have actually been an earlier one. A serial killer who murdered is your hero, says JP. And 54-17 full time. A man they should get Cormac Lyons onto the Irish national team. He's some player, says Fjord. And Fiji said Ireland are vulnerable. This Irish side ain't vulnerable, says Mornay. More strapping for Ilya Thunakaivata going on to the elbow here. 35 minutes till the box, says Jimbo. Yeah, I guess one good thing about this game going for so long is the fact that the next game is only just around the corner. Like normally you'd have about maybe 50 minutes to wait till the start of a next contest. I was actually hoping to be able to eat food in between the streams, but because of how long this game has taken, we are now not going to be able to. We're going to run out of time. But now rolling maul here. Ronan Kelleher. The ball at the back of that maul. You guys got those Bata bullets too, eh? I have no idea what that is. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Little kick behind from Frawley. And nicely claimed by Karawalevu, who's done brilliantly to stay in the field of play. Oh, Sareli Mangwala. Looked like he might have gotten slightly hurt there in that carry. Amish is smashing this out. The Park hit that like button. What's the record for the longest game, says Lilia B? This one. No, it's not too bad. Like, probably 2 hours. It depends if you count extra time. Like, normally any game that goes for 2 hours hasn't been the smoothest contest. And this one's going to go for about 2 hours, 2 minutes, I'd say. Somewhere around there. Time's it for you in New Zealand. Currently at a 6:06. Jeez, this game's still on. Come on the block. Says Albert. Can't wait for Hamish talking about Wales and seeing his face moving at the same time. And at this rate, you might not even have time for a bathroom break. Yeah, we're pretty much jumping straight into that next live stream as soon as this game ends. So be sure to pop in, ladies and gentlemen. Now, counter-ruck coming from the Irish. There's a knock-on there, though, from Tom O'Toole. Yet somehow it's a penalty advantage to Fiji. It was Clarkson, but did he not just knock that on, like, cold? I want to gouge yourself while commentating, because it's very difficult to eat and commentate. We've tried it once before, and it just didn't work. So I ended up having to just pretty much put the food down next to me and wait 4 hours, and then I had it. You better order your New Zealand breakfast for delivery. Don't mind watching you eat. I don't have, like, any delivery service around me with where I live. So, yeah, the only food that gets eaten or from, like, that side of things is if I make it myself. You can always drink water in between streams. Says Mornay, that is true. Have some water. Have food later. Mandiaki did get the man of the match for this contest. Fiji will also be back to 15 on the field. State of this refereeing performance. 10 gave Ireland at the very minimum 21 points. How's that not a red card? Prendergast. And Bunny gets man of the match. I've eaten and talked as a lecturer. And where's our old audio checks? Is that you, Mr. Orland? Going to be kicked into touch. 2 minutes remaining in this match. Like I said, our next live stream is going to be starting in a very short moment for South Africa versus Wales, the end of their November internationals for those two sides. So, of course, be sure to check that one out. And liver sandwiches. Ronan Killer. Nicely taken at the front by Kian Prendergast. Caelan Doris drops off to the short side. Now Killer steps back in and scores the try. That'll be the 50 for Ireland. Oh, bit of push and shove there. Looks like Matawalu was ready to throw punches if he had to. He's got Craig Casey by the head. He's going to be ripped to the ground by Joe McCarthy. It's all kicking off in Ireland now. That's about as loud as I've heard the crowd throughout the whole game. We have got there go Wales, says Bonko. More interested in foul play are some rugby teams. Ronan Kelleher scoring the try. No fight, gentlemen. There's a female referee. Says Blues, Nate. 8 tries now for Kelleher. Fiji can't seem to play a game without milk and penalties. This is actually why the score is like that. Yeah, so the shot came in from Pene Matawalu. I'm not too sure what made him angry. He just made a tackle. I think he was just frustrated that he got run over the top of. Unless something else has happened here. So he makes the tackle, gets his head slightly crushed, and then I don't know what he's doing there, Pene Matawalu, trying to put in an extra shoulder for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So then he starts wrestling with Craig Casey. And that kick is missed from Prendergast as the rain starts to fall at the Aviva by the looks of it. But now 52 points to 17. The score was still 40 seconds remaining in this game. Hope all teams can get this kind of 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th man performance from the ref, says Ethan. And they said it's raining very heavily outside the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Yeah, the weather is not great for that game. That's going to be kicked out on the full from the Fijians again. Having lost the match to Fiji, at least win the fight. Matawalu went for Craig Casey, the smallest man on the field. But, like, in terms of trying to put in an extra shoulder to Kelleher, who was already on the ground, he completely missed it. Bashing little guys, literally all they managed, says Jimbo. But now the scrum on the halfway line. I think Ireland would be more than happy to just kick this ball into touch at full time. Go into their game next week up against the Australians. Like, you don't want to risk an injury here. Yes, they'd love to score more points than they've already got, but I think you definitely want to just play it safe, not risk injury. Definitely after what just happened when they scored the try. Like, at the end of the day, it's just not worth the risk. Now, Craig Casey gonna put this ball in, got to run, thanks for another awesome commentary image. There's Daryl. And the ball's popped out on the side of the Fijians. Penny Matawalu goes across now to Botitu. Ireland wanting to go for the ball, weren't quite able to get that turnover. Muntz with the quick hands out wide now for Karawalevu. Puts the chip in behind, trying to win the foot race. Murray manages to regather. They're only 5 metres out from the line here, Ireland. So Craig Casey will get this ball. He will put it back into the pocket and they will kick it into touch, the Irish. Oh, almost a cheap shot coming in from Penny Matawalu at the end as well. But nonetheless, that is the end of this game, ladies and gents. The next one that we are covering is South Africa versus Wales. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are transferring straight over to that one now. So I will see you all for the next one.